Not only do Ben and I co-host the networking calls every Monday, so since this Skillshare topic is about hosting your own networking call to increase engagement with members, it made sense that I invited not just my co-host for those calls, who I do those with every Monday, but also Ben is the workshop guy. So what better way to combine everything than invite not only my co-host for those calls, but also invite Ben's workshopping skills. So this is very well facilitated. I'm looking forward to this because I like workshops. Do I think about workshopping as much as Ben? No, I don't, but we all benefit from that dynamic of learning Ben's workshopping style and also our joint minds for assembling, connecting, and having more engagement with individuals through this networking call, which is a nice segue into this first slide right here. So, this Skillshare is all about why your members aren't connecting with each other and what to do about it. And this is actually why Ben and I came together for co-hosting these networking calls, because what better way to increase engagement and to connect members than to spotlight the members? Which is great because even a Skillshare like this, Ben and I are kind of spotlighting the outcome of having more engagement, more connection with your members. And by that, we're also, in a way, spotlighting our expertise to
Mhm.
facilitate and share that outcome. But a networking call, you're really inviting the members to spotlight themselves and to get to know other members. So that said, we are going to share with you what is now a proven framework. Once upon a time, it was just a concept and idea, but now after doing more than 10 networking calls, it's a proven framework that transforms your unengaged, passive community into a more thriving space where members connect more actively on live calls, in comments, on posts. They post more, they engage with each other more on posts. And in addition to that, just there's more long-lasting relationships. I hear about members in the community from networking calls connecting on one-to-one calls or joining each other's communities or conversations that they're having with each other. And as a community leader and facilitator, it's a really good feeling. And I know Ben would agree with that, which is why we're all assembled to teach you a bit more about this today.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for kicking that off. And one thing I want to add to that is what's interesting is that I think, like, yeah, it's a networking call that helps people to come and network, but I think that there are some really important underlying mechanisms. So that's a big part of what we're going to focus on. And for you and your communities, it doesn't necessarily have to be a networking call. It could be a slightly different shape. And so by the end, I think I mentioned in some of the posts, we're going to pick one person and kind of like craft a certain call for one of the members here who are attending. And that may be a networking call. It might be the right fit, but it might not be. So we're going to talk about that, and everyone can sort of chip into that as well. It'll be fun discussion. So yeah, let's dive in. To get things kicked off, I want to find out first, what is your biggest challenge? Now we're going to actually do, instead of just typing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the chat, I want something a little bit more visual. So I've dropped a form in, I hope I've done that right. Yeah, I've dropped a form, a Google form in. If you're able to just quickly do that, then just select which ones. You can choose multiple, but ideally focusing on the biggest challenges you have in your community around having members connect with each other. Feel free to share a thought there. So we'll take a minute just to do that, and then we'll have some of the results there displayed. So, what is the biggest challenge? Is it low attendance on calls? Is it lurkers lurking? Is it engagement depending solely on you, and that as soon as you're removed, there's no engagement anymore? Or is it that members don't ever really talk to each other? They just talk to you and they don't really interact. Maybe there's just no vibe and you want some more vibes. Or maybe there's something else. So what is that thing? Let me get my Google form up. Let's see. Oh, cool. Nice one. All right. Boom, that was quick. Awesome. So some of you might still be throwing that in. So we've got low attendance on calls to, yeah, the big ones. Oh, I can't remember. There we go. Engagement depends solely on you is a big one. Seems to be something a lot of people are mentioning. Yeah. Um, I mean, even for me now, it's still something that I'm very conscious of right now and trying to reel back a little bit. It's more of a me problem, a control problem, rather than a community problem. So I think the community's fine without me. Um, Members not talking to each other, yeah, absolutely. No community vibe. So we've got a bit of a spread there, but it looks like there's definitely a focus on, yeah, low attendance to calls and these two, as we've mentioned there, right? But they're all valid and they're all common. And they're all very linked as well, as I'm sure that you guys have experienced too. So with that in mind, well, what do we do? Which one are we focusing on? Well, actually, all of these problems, there isn't just one solution, but there is a solution to these problems that actually can help all of these aspects. And that's fundamentally just about how we can build relationships with between the members in the actual community itself. That's the key focus. So what we want really is a web. We don't want what they describe as a hub where one person is the center and everyone comes through the center. We want a web where there's lots of relationships between others, where members connect with each other independently. And so we believe, just from our experience, structured networking calls are a great way to do this. And we're going to unpack specifically what the mechanisms are that are good for this, and then talk about how that can be applied and extended a little bit more broadly. Cool. So let's dive in.
Okay, all right. So why do networking calls fix these problems? And I'll say that in facilitating these calls with Ben over several sessions, they solve more problems than we initially identified, which is why we are sharing this because we advocate more networking, more group calls for all of you and your communities and your members. So we're going to go over three reasons why, structured networking calls solve your engagement problem and the underlying principles there. I'll share one insight that I was thinking of when we were going through these, and I've researched budding relationships and how we create friends and really bond with people. And one aspect of it is spontaneity. So you think about it when you're in your younger days, you're in college, you went on campus, or even the schoolyard. There's an aspect of spontaneity. You don't know when you're going to see the people you're bridging connections with, but that actually contributes to more bonds. And one thing I found in networking calls is like you don't really know who's going to show up. But when you do show up and there's familiar faces, it's really good. And that spontaneity continues within the group or the community as well. So that's good. We can continue on here. Thanks, Ben. Okay, a sustainable structure. And I believe in flow and structure. I sometimes call a meeting agenda a flow agenda, where there is a structure, but within that structure, there's play and flow and flexibility. So one great thing about having a structured call for a networking event is that it's simple to prepare. You don't have to guess or innovate every time. And again, it took Ben and I a few times to perfect or have an ideal structure, which is why we're sharing this with you because we're sharing with you the structure that worked for us. So if you want to do something like this, you can take advantage of not having to test as much as we did. It solves an actual problem. And that problem is, well, engagement, members not connecting, having something on the calendar that is easy to facilitate and people actually want to attend. It gives space for connection. Again, a networking call does all three of these and much more. Picking a consistent time has been very beneficial. And again, it's every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Even that, I don't have to think about how to invite you or when to invite you to. It's consistent. People know when to show up, when to join. People also know how to easily invite other individuals who may be interested in it. 60 minutes, right? It's the same structure, predictable format every session. And the main thing here, the last one of my favorites, is that we're just guides, right? We're hosting the space, and individuals are the ones who are really contributing the value there. Yeah, thanks, Ben. So the simple 60-minute framework, right? We welcome individuals to the space. We share the purpose, what to expect. We go over the agenda, a breakdown of the flow of the 60 minutes so individuals know what to expect. Then we do what we call a round robin, where individuals introduce themselves for about a minute or so. And after that, we do the breakout sessions. So in addition to getting to know each other in the main room through the short introductions, you get to connect with individuals in the breakout sessions. And the breakout sessions are usually about 9 minutes long, usually have 3 to 4 individuals. And after that, at the end of that, we regroup, we share takeaways, highlights from what you've talked about in the breakout rooms, and it's inviting people to the next call, essentially. So really easy framework and structure. And now I believe Ben is going to invite us to do some breakout rooms.
Yeah, so I just want you to take a note. We've been talking at you guys for a little while, right? It's like 13 minutes into the call, and we had a nice little like warm up at the beginning, and then we started talking. So I wanted you just to take a note, like how do you feel right now? Are you like, do you feel connected with the people inside this group? Do you, I mean, maybe from previous experience, but right now, do you feel connected? Do you feel awake? Do you feel focused and engaged and pumped up? Yes, no, maybe. Take a little note of that. And we're going to send you off to a room with a little mission, which is basically to share who's your favorite person in your life, right? It's really vague there. It's only going to be 3 minutes, and we want everyone to see if you can share in that time. Then we're going to come back and see just how you feel, basically. All right. So you guys know how breakout rooms work. I'm going to fire you off and hopefully, yeah, we'll see. I know a bunch of you guys are probably just listening in, so we'll try and make sure the rooms is a good mixture. So let me think. Yeah, we'll give that a go. All right, guys, we'll see you in 3 minutes.
Yeah, feel free to join the breakout room if you're still here in the main room. I think it's just you and me now.
Yeah, Wendy's here, but yeah, that's all good. I think
You
we're just
can
gonna
move
hang out here.
her. You can move her to a room.
Yeah, I don't see
She
a link.
it says she's there, but it says not joined. So
You
we
can
can
just
try again.
move her. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh
Okay.
wait,
Bye,
whoops, not that
Wendy.
one. Oh, no.
Cool. I like the Google slide, the Google survey. I like that. Might have to do that.
It's nice. There's actually one. Have you heard of Mentimeter?
No, I haven't.
It's a paid one, but sorry, you have it?
I haven't heard of it.
Right. Yeah, it's a paid one. It's a bit more professional, but yeah, I love the visual part. Yeah, this makes it nice.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, Mentimeter is good, but you have to pay.
Does Zoom have embedded polls?
I think it does. I haven't really, yeah,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
we realized, we're not very good with Zoom.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's all the hidden
yeah,
features. Just
yeah, and there's also
curious.
like it has a feature where people can like come in, ask their question, and then you can get to them later on. I should probably look
Yeah.
into this. I'm paying for Zoom, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have to upgrade to Ava's special tier to unlock these features, right?
She
Uh,
and she doesn't strike me as someone who's very like tech savvy, so I feel like we need to reflect on
yeah,
her
yeah.
own ability.
What's wrong with us?
Yeah.
Don is Don is from your group?
Man, I think that's Dinesh. Yeah, there's a guy who keeps trying to join workshops. When he comes in, he doesn't say anything or do anything. It's been like this for six over months. I
Oh,
think that
okay.
might be him. Yeah, so
Okay.
he's just feeling it out.
Oh, he messaged me
Oh,
asking why he was kicked out of the last Zoom. And I'm like,
oh,
dude,
that was me.
oh, you kicked him out? I kicked him out too. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, because
Because then I messaged
he's
him saying,
coming.
hey, can you turn your camera on? Hey, what are you here for? And he like didn't respond to anything. I'm like, all right, well, if you're not going to respond to my private messages, I'm just going to kick you out.
Yeah, he's been in my community for ages and has come to a bunch of Sunday clubs, never no camera. He sits in for like 10 minutes and leaves. So yeah.
You just
Oh, you're
remove him
back. It's
altogether.
quick.
Kara, you're back early.
I accidentally clicked the button that said return when I was just trying to make the box go away. It was
Oh,
actually my turn to speak.
you want to send her back really quick?
Oh
30
no.
seconds? Too late.
Can I? I don't think I
Yeah.
can now.
Okay. It's too late, Kara.
Sorry.
Yeah. You
That's
broke the
cool.
game. Yeah.
It's the seed is planted for future connection, right? Yeah.
Cool.
Nice. All right. That's more responses than I was expecting as well.
All right.
That
So
actually got
think
me out of a tricky situation anyway, because my one favorite person are my three kids, and I'm like, you're not supposed to choose one.
you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to. Even if you have one, you're not supposed to say it. I have two
Yeah.
daughters. Yeah, yeah.
Loaded
Okay.
question.
Welcome back, everyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. For all you parents out there, and you have your favorite people in the world are your kids. The trick is to not state which favorite kid is to all the kids, because that creates division. They're all your favorites. Also, bonus points if in your breakout rooms you chose either myself or Ben as your favorite person. We'll not know because we're here in the main room, but bonus points if you did choose one of us. Okay, so let's go to the next slide, Ben, and we will
Yeah.
continue
Just
on.
before we do that, quick check-in, guys. Do you feel a little bit more awake, a little bit more connected, a little bit more happy than you were 3 minutes ago? Or are you pretty much the same? Give me thumbs up to the side, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
awesome. Cool. That's right. Same, more or less. Nice. The idea is obviously at this point with the yeah, you guys know how this works, right? We've got a little breakout room here, and then you've got the regroup. And so good for community vibes and connection. So hopefully you'll continue some of those conversations. It's only 3 minutes, but you'll continue some of them at some point in the future. But yeah, let's move along. Nice. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah. So, do you feel better after the breakout room? You can chat, comment how you enjoy the breakout room if you like to. If you feel more awake, more engaged, more connected, you can chat if you'd like to. Right. So, as a community builder, right, Ben and I are architects. I like that. We're architects. So we were hanging out in the main room as everyone else was engaging. So yeah, it is going quite well, which is the importance of having a good structure and facilitating and just having fun and just letting loose. Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Nice one. So, reason number two, the balance between new and old, something that I think is very, very powerful, something that I think is a little bit underutilized on school, that I hope to see more of this throughout the year, is a couple of things. I think the big one is just this cross-community call. The fact that we're running this call across two communities and that there are two co-hosts, so we don't have to do it on our own and not all the pressure is on us. And it creates this really beautiful sort of 80-20 of community calls where we want a group of people who are there showing up regularly. You could consider that to be the 20%, or the numbers might be a little bit different. But then there's always going to be a group of new and maybe more occasional attendees. And that helps to create a really nice environment because we get this little trifecta of things happening. We get the opportunity to reestablish past connections, people we haven't seen for a while. We have the ability to maintain the current ones, people we might have seen last week. And then we get to foster new ones. And that is a really beautiful melting pot for a community vibe, essentially, all done in an actual call itself. And then that will filter out into the community itself. And the other part, I think, on this as well, that's interesting is, I guess a lot of members, as we've run this networking call, a lot of our active members between Justin's community and my community, we have a lot of the similar active members. And that's cool. And it kind of, in a way, sort of keeps a lot of members in our little pocket of the internet, or there's a lot of stuff going on between the two communities. And it's a great thing. So, yeah, it's interesting to see how that all comes together and having that little combination there. Last little reminder that actions that lead to favorable outcomes don't always happen on the first date. Something I've observed from our networking calls is that people might join your community the first time you meet them, not so often, right? But usually it's the second time, the third time, the fourth time after the call, the follow-ups and seeing them over and over again where something will happen, the magic will happen, essentially. So it's just a nice environment to allow that to happen and not just be something where you're only fostering new connections, but there's a variety of connections happening. Yeah, so that's basically the balance there. Some of the numbers from our call, we've done 9 calls now. In total, we've had 67 unique attendees. 27 of them have come more than once. So that means that around 80%, roughly, 82% are either have come once or they've come more than once. And then we have our 12 hardcore regulars who have come more than 5 times, which is cool. And that's about 18%. So we're sort of matching this 80-20 rule, which is cool. I think it's why the community, or it's why the call is good and it's healthy. But there's also an incentive for us to make sure there's always new people coming through as well to make sure that is healthy. Nice one. Over to you, Justin.
Yeah, right. So reason number 3 is to get out of the way. Just allow the connections to unfold because you created the right conditions for it. And then just take a step back. And I remember after the second networking call we had co-hosted together, Ben and I are like, what are we doing? Like, this isn't as going as well as we thought. But that's why we share this. We didn't allow the connections to continue. We didn't allow the structure and the repetition, the consistency of showing up every Monday to really bear fruit. And now it has, which is why we continue to do it every Monday and why we're sharing with you the advantage of it. So providing the space is essential, right? And one thing that I've heard about our networking call is that it's not pitchy, it's not salesy. There are people who are actually coming together to connect, to share, to get to know each other, to share about themselves, and that's the intention of the space that is also facilitated through the structure. Gathering the right people. You don't exactly know who are going to be those regulars, but once you find those regulars, definitely encourage them to come, thank them for coming, because when you spotlight or highlight the contribution for some of those key members, well, they're going to continue to do their thing. So that is part of that in gathering the right people. Defining the purpose, right? Really making it easy for people to engage and knowing the benefit of the networking call. And what comes to mind is how we say at the start of every networking call, like you're here to ideally make at least one meaningful connection. You may make more than one meaningful connection, but let's focus on at least one. So that makes it like clear, defined, what are they here for? It has a nice, just congruent intention for what to expect and what to look for throughout a call. And step back and trust that everything will happen. And, Ben and I have had conversations like, what if people don't like each other in the breakout rooms? Or what if they meet the same people that they've already connected with in the breakout rooms? But now, like, the structure is good, facilitation is good. We step back and we let the structure do its thing. So, it's true. These conversations do unfold, and before Ben and I used to meet every Monday before the networking call just to make sure things were well planned. And now we just see each other at the start of the networking call because it's optimized and we have a good flow. So yeah, it's good. I'm good here. Ben, you can continue.
Awesome. So there were the three key reasons. There's a lot of other reasons too, but there are three that
Yeah.
we thought were important that we wanted to highlight to you guys. And something fun that I'd love to do now with you guys is to actually create some sort of custom community call that embeds these principles. So one lucky participant is going to walk away with a whole plan, and this leans in a little bit to what I do and part of my offer. But basically, you'll have a structure. I help you create the structure, messaging templates, and the guide of sort of what to do and what to say each step of the way. And it'll just be modeled off what we basically have in our resources. And so it may be a networking call, but it may be something a little bit different. And I hope we can get kind of cool and excited and creative about what we could create here for you and your community. So, question, who would like to have a custom community call blueprint? Just, I don't know, type a one in the chat if you're
Oh,
interested, or raise your hand. Cool. What I'm going to do actually is I want to spin the wheel of names. This is always fun because this just makes it more exciting. So if you're interested, just type it in, and I can also follow up with you guys later on if you're interested as well. But let me see. So we've got Auden.
awesome. Stephanie, Uncle Rashid, Kara, Donna's,
Cool. Nice.
Wendy, Angia.
Cool. That's right. Solange, right? I think that's okay. Yeah, cool. Leave it there. Awesome. Wonderful. And obviously, if you change your mind, anyone else who doesn't have that, feel free to contact me. But yeah, let's give it a whirl. Let's see who the lucky winner is. I'm going to walk through how we built that today. All right, let's do it. No sound. No, we need sound. Oh, but it usually has a. Oh, come on, guys. No, it should just be random. That's fine. All right, let's hit it.
All right, I'm excited. All right, we have Solange.
All right, Solange,
Congrats,
beautiful.
Solange.
Now, Solange.
Seriously, that's really that's interesting. But thank
Well,
you.
yeah.
So-
Yeah.
You're
Are
lucky.
yeah, cool. Let's go for it.
Nice. So yeah, look, it will require some questions. We'll just basically walk through it and getting a feeling here of what these are the questions that I think are going to help us to determine whether a networking call is appropriate and what might be a similar substitute with the same structure, essentially. So what is your community about? Now you had a community, but you don't now. Is that right?
I do have a community, but it's not thriving. I only have 7 members, and well, let's just say one of them is me, and I think a couple other people. It's just people that joined because I've asked them to join, but they're not actually participating. So
Sure.
yeah, it's not really a community, but I worked a lot. I want to start a video so I can get used to speaking on video.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool. So just to
great.
jump on that. So Justin, question for you. What do you
Yeah.
think is like the critical minimum number of members that would be ideal before we start running calls like this? So I'm thinking probably around like 50 would be a good amount of time where
Yeah,
it would.
yeah. So this is a good question, and this is something I have a simple solution to that I've used and that I advocate to others. So actually, you can have a few members. You can have less than 10 members, but I would say that if you're looking to have an engaged event with individuals showing up, to ask members directly if they'd be interested in attending an event and then confirming what time. Because I've seen the pitfall of community leaders putting something on the calendar and then no one shows up. And it's not that people aren't going to show up, but there's not enough attention on the calendar for people to show up. Like Ben and I are very grateful that we've had this now. We can put an event on the calendar. So if you're just starting a community and you're looking to have people attend events, I would say direct invitations. Hey, I'm thinking about doing an event for XYZ outcome. Would you be interested? Okay, great. Would you be available if I did it on this date? And that way you can take inventory of who's going to show up so that when you do the event, there's actually people attending and you're not showing up and no one comes. So I would say that as a start. But yeah, I would say about 50 could be good to see if you put an event on the calendar without doing those invites, if people show up.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's a great point. And I should actually mention, I'll explain what it was for me because I had about maybe 10 to 15 online coaching clients at that time. And then when I first started my school community, I invited them in and we had like less than 10 members for like a few months. But I was running community calls once or twice a week because I would see those guys once a week and I wanted them to practice an extra time. So these calls were just to gather and practice. So you don't really need that many as long as you know that it's a time that works for them. And I knew that it was a time that works for them because I was already working with them. So it's not a normal method, but it just adds to what Justin said that if you can secure what time they're available, then that will work. Yeah.
So the way I would do that actually is there's a few people I know who are interested in what I do and what I can provide. So just invite a few people through different social media platform, direct them to the school platform, and then go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just when you pick that date, make sure it's solid. Don't be afraid to DM people, ask them directly whether they can come. Make sure it's a thing, and don't expect people to rock up if you didn't tell them about it. Hardest thing is
Right.
starting a new event at a new time. Yeah, that
Right.
could work.
No,
And
obviously,
start
yeah.
as a small group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
brilliant. So
I'd also
then,
say one suggestion, yeah, because I've said it before. I even say it in regard to this. It's just outcomes, right? Like, what is the one outcome? What is the one benefit that members will gain from attending a free event? Often I see it that people post a free event and invite people to a free event and they know it's going to be beneficial. But if members know why they're going to spend an hour of their time with you because the outcome is clear, then they're more likely to attend. And we've done that here. It's just like, hey, why aren't your members connecting with each other? How do you have more engagement? You're interested in that. You're here. So if you can also think of that when you're inviting people to your event, you're also more likely to get people who are going to commit to showing up.
That actually completely makes sense. You need to provide some kind of incentive for people to waste an hour of their time.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
benefit,
Right.
waste an hour of the time or benefit from an hour of
No,
the
I
time.
mean,
Yeah.
incentive is might not be the right word, but that's the only word that comes to my mind right now is incentive.
No, incentive's great. And that's why networking is good because most professionals like to network or they know they should be networking too. So that kind of
Right.
leads to this question, like what is your community about and who are the members? And if you don't have that many at the moment, it's fine, but ideally, what does that look like? So what is your community about?
My community is about, well, the name of my community, I've just recently changed it, is Ageless Fitness and Nutrition. I'm trying to just speak properly. I'm sorry.
It's okay. No,
Yeah,
you're
you're
good.
doing good.
Yeah, and so it's for, just to clarify, it's for people who are over 50, right? Who want to
It's
be
ageless. So I'm
Oh.
trying to target I'm trying to target women mainly because I see there's a lot of confusion on women fitness and what age, what can they do at what age. And
Okay.
so this is what I'm trying to target right now. I think it's the best idea for me, right? At this junction, it's the best idea for me. So
Yeah.
I've modified a few things, and but it's always the same problem for me. It's like I'm trying to get people gain interest, and I think a networking call might be just the right idea.
Sure. So let's break that down. So you've got a community. Let's say it's for, you said it's ageless. I'm going to go with like 50 plus women who are interested in fitness, right? So we kind of have a clear idea
It
on
doesn't
who
end,
what it's about.
it
We
doesn't
know that they
even
like,
really have to be 50. It can be in the 40s. It just women of a certain age, like starting at 30, things become more complicated for women in fitness,
sure, no
pretty
worries.
much,
Yeah. And so we know that they like fitness. What else are
right?
things that they might like? Like give me a few, like
They have
three things they might like. Yeah.
they have to be passionate about nutrition because
Cool.
fitness and nutrition go together.
Yep.
And
Awesome.
just performance for me is a very important.
Awesome
They
stuff.
want
Fitness,
they need to be able to
nutrition,
want to improve.
performance. Brilliant. That's great. Just for the purpose of this exercise, I'm not going too
Right.
deep into the specifics.
Right, right.
Just
No, I
it
understand
sounds great.
because like I got all my ideas coming at the same time again.
Yeah, it's great. No worries. And what's a shared challenge that everyone has? Like, so in my community, I think one thing that when I thought about this question, it's like, well, one thing is about confidence, actually. I think a lot of people, it's a shared theme because people typically who want to improve their communication skills, typically confidence is a facet of that. If they were
Right.
confident, they don't necessarily need to. Do you see any themes with your members or
Yes.
even introspectively?
Time. Time.
Time.
Time
Yeah,
is
cool. Okay,
time impacts everything. It impacts consistency. It impacts everything.
interesting. Yeah, it's funny because like I guess time, it's like, all right, you're struggling with time. Come to our networking event, spend another hour of your time with us. But there could be
Exactly.
some stuff
See where I'm
there.
getting?
There could be some stuff there around like accountability and sharing tips that can help to reduce time. Last question, what's the vision for your community?
I'm a very competitive person. I found a community just about women of a certain age, and this person is number one in the health in the health community. And well, she's just thriving. And I want to learn how she does that. I want to be able to provide a service to as many people as possible, but um, not for a lot of money because the more members I have, the less I have to charge.
No worries. So it's just about helping a big range of people, right? At
Right.
this stage. Yeah, and that'll
This is
develop
exactly
further.
how I function.
Cool.
I want to be paid for my services, but in the end, I want to help as many people as possible.
Okay. So just roughly on this basis, the question that I'm thinking about right now is like, okay, we've got fitness, nutrition, and performance as things that are interesting. The time, one of the areas of focus is time. So let me
Right.
throw this at you, Justin. Do you think
Yeah.
that a networking call makes sense for these objectives, or would it be tweaked in some manner? Because I can see this structure working nicely, but it might have a slightly different goal or purpose.
Yeah,
What do you
Right.
think?
totally. Yeah. I mean, it's what is the magic of having community. When you have community, people don't just come because you're the expert who is teaching this or that and is looking to sell this or that. What's interesting about community in regard to helping you build a business is a balance between relationships between the members and also your expertise that is related to your offer. So that
Absolutely.
said,
I agree with
yes,
that
yeah.
100%.
Yeah,
Yes.
totally. I'm glad you agree. So that said, I believe that this structure can be very effective, but as opposed to individuals introducing themselves and talking about what they're working on in their businesses, which is the case for a networking event that I host, it could be related to, okay, tell me a little bit about yourself, tell me about what's going on with your health, your fitness, especially in the small breakout rooms. Like people like to learn from other people. Like, hey, what are you doing for health and fitness? Um,
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it could be very effective, but just changing the topic or the theme or the conversation points within the framework.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely see the opportunity. Like, for example, the if it's about nutrition, just like sharing a recipe that you made this week that worked really well. Like, what did you cook? Just for ideas. I feel like that's one of the hard parts of just thinking about, okay, what do I need to cook?
Absolutely.
Whatever.
Oh, yes.
You would have the deep insights into that, and then
You
the
have to
breakout room.
fuel your body, you have to eat, but sometimes it's like I have time and I want it to taste good, and
Yeah.
it's complicated. Yes.
Exactly. And then the breakout room having a slightly different focus that could be around performance, or it could be around actual fitness or training or whatever. But that's up to you to decide. And coming back and then sharing what you discussed. But even if there's only 4 people on the call, just for them to have paired discussions is very powerful. And that's what gets the
Great.
fire started.
Yeah.
So
Great.
yeah, I would see something like that. I'll whip something up and just share it with you in terms of a
That's
structure.
wonderful. Thank you.
I
Thank you,
also
Ben. I can't
I
believe I
also
actually won something for once.
yeah, also
I
it was
didn't
meant
win
to be.
anything.
Yeah, yeah. I also have an idea
Yeah.
for Solange. So, in the breakout rooms for the networking call, it could be like, hey, talk about a valuable health or fitness tip, and it could be kind of general and said it could be a fitness or health tip that you learned from me, Solange, or it could be another one that you learned from somewhere else. So that way
Right.
it allows conversation to unfold related to your expertise that you're sharing in the group that some members may know about, but other members may not know about. But they don't have to share from you. But oh, how did you learn that tip from Solange? Oh, it was in the course classroom or it was in this other event. So that way, it's open. People talk about health and fitness, but you're also able to share more of your expertise, which then may lead to client or customer enrollment.
Right. Well, I think it's important to do both, share your expertise, but you have to have members who are comfortable with speaking to each other.
Yes,
It
yes.
just they have to be able to relate to me, but to relate to each other as well. I think
Right.
that's the point.
Yeah. And
Right. That's cool.
introducing members to other members is something we haven't touched on specifically yet, Ben. I know we're very aware of it, but that's part of the dynamic of networking and having a community of engaged members where sure members may meet each other and develop bonds and relationships, but if you introduce people, then it also increases that dynamic intentionally.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. One last part I'll add before we move along is just if you could find someone who's even at a similar level as you, less than 20 members, and just do it together, it just makes everything so much easier, even just with this structure. And then you're sharing members, and then it really get things moving, I guess, with being able to be more consistent with this call and having a few people come through. So
Do you
yeah.
mean like somebody who will be collaborating with you on the
Yeah, potentially
project?
just like because Justin and I run these calls, we both have it on our calendars and it's one call. So and
Oh, I
that
know
I think
exactly
would be
what I'm gonna
very
ask. I know exactly what I'm gonna ask. Oh, yes.
yeah,
Thank you
cool, nice.
for saying that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Nice one. So that was a quick brainstorm there. It's not hard, right? And I know it's definitely probably more about just taking action and trying something and doing it, but it's really simple. And if you just use that framework, I am very confident that that structure of a workshop will lead to much better connections in your community. So I guess like what I'd love to do now, I know potentially there are some questions that people might have specifics that we can address. If there aren't any questions, I wouldn't mind spinning the wheel again. So we've got the 60 minutes, happy to use that time. But first I'll just open it up. Does anyone have any questions? Or maybe Justin, did you want to add anything before we get into Q&A?
No, I think we're good. Yeah. We're here to bring the value and the expertise and the wisdom, right? If there's things that we figured out from hosting networking calls and building quite engaged and thriving communities, if you want to ask Ben and I any questions related to the theme or topic of this call, like more than happy to answer. So I think, yeah, it's a good time for it. And don't be
Guys,
shy.
don't be shy. And yes, Stephanie, go for it.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
So hello. So my question is, I've built these two communities, and Ben, I know we've talked about it in the past, like combining them. but I'm having an issue because one of them is a structured program, like you have to sign up to be a rep to be in the program, which is my Seed to Life community. And then the other one's just an open forum. So I don't know if there's a way, because you guys have built such a structured program and I love what you guys are doing. I just don't know how to apply it to my model.
Mhm.
It's a little different.
Yeah. I mean, what comes to mind for me is that your one of the groups would be a separate like course and workshop. So the discussions, they might have general discussions and they may benefit from the general discussions, but things that are related
Okay.
specifically to the reps, yeah, you've got like a locked course got a locked course in the classroom, unlocked to join the group call that happens once a week, and then that's a separate container. And I do have that a little bit in my community with the high ticket program that I run. It's a little bit
Yeah.
separate, but they still benefit from being in the space. Would that work? Because is there anything from the main group that needs to be separated from the from the sales reps? Is there anything that has to be separated or not really? Like which one is more
Not from
private?
the other group, just the motivation. I don't want to annoy people with, hi, this is how you sell this or whatnot. I don't want to get the main people annoyed with
Ah,
me posting that stuff because it's sort of tailored to a person that's already signed up to be
hmm.
part of yeah. So that's where my confusion is, I guess.
That's interesting. I'll comment and then I'll see if Justin has any thoughts. But
Okay.
like I have that a little bit as well. Like anytime I'm talking about stuff related to schoolers, it's not really relevant to a bunch of my my members. And so I think it
Mhm.
just depends, firstly, where you're heading long term, whether this is a short-term thing or a long-term thing. And the
Yeah.
other thing is that it's okay to have some posts that don't resonate with everyone, as well.
Mm.
It's fine, right? But there are threads that you can find that are relatable as well. So yeah, I think it's completely fine. But yeah, it's not ideal because the most ideal version would be everything super streamlined, super niche. Every word you say resonates with everyone in the community. That's the ideal, but it doesn't always work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
What do you think, Justin?
What do I think? Well, I wasn't thinking, but now that I've been called on, I have to think about something.
Sorry.
So that said, I'm kidding. I did think about that. So I'm a big advocate of having one community as much as possible because I believe that having more than one community, you can't focus as much as intentionality or time or effort, energy on one. So I would say as much as possible, try to unify everything that you want to share within one community. And there are some circumstances when I have conversations with colleagues or other creators where it makes sense to have two. But if you could have one, I think that would be great. And also in having, one community, it's the passion that you're looking to share with members, but it's also essentially sharing aspects of you and your life. So members, I
Mhm.
think, will not have anything against you sharing different areas of your passion, and some members will really resonate with certain posts or really engage with it because that aspect of you is very similar to them. And some other members may not engage as much with that kind of content because it's not as much of them, but it's still you that they're rallying around. So that said,
Yeah.
I think you're fine with it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Nice. Any other thoughts or questions? I actually wanted to address Roshan's question. He asked in the community today, which is I was joking about how the solution to running workshops is to find yourself a Javaria or an Emma or a Daniel. For those who are in our community, you know that these guys are super engaged. So where do you find them? And that could be interesting just to mention. I'll briefly explain the way that they came in because I think it's actually really interesting. So Emma came from, I used to run an Instagram page called Aussie Slang Gang, and it was like a separate project. It's all about Australian slang. Had a bunch of followers on there, and Emma actually came through that pipeline. So I was just like DMing people from there saying, hey, if you're interested in your speaking communication. So I had a bunch of members that came through from that. Emma was one of them in the very early days. Javaria came through an ad, and so I ran ads broadly, meta ads just to the whole world, and it didn't go very well. I had people joining for like 3 cents per lead, which is incredible, but the quality of the leads was very questionable. So, I had hundreds of people join my community in like a few days or something crazy, but Javaria was one of them actually, and so she ended up sticking around and getting involved, and I had of like 400 people, I think, that joined from those ads. I think I had about 10 that were like pretty solid and got engaged. And Javaria was definitely like the cream of the crop, but she didn't get engaged straight away. It took her some time. And then lastly, Daniel, actually, Javaria invited Daniel. So referrals, I think a lot of active members in the community are actually referrals. And now that we have those stats, the new stats about growth, it's quite interesting to see how important affiliates and referrals are. So yeah, that's how they came to the community, which is quite interesting.
Yeah.
How much
I'll
money do you spend on ads? Oh, too much. No, I didn't spend that much. I think I was doing like $30 a day, something like that. And I ran it for a couple of weeks, and I've done a lot of different campaigns on and off. But side note, an ads guy that you guys might know, Mate, he's going to be helping me with a little project next month, and we're going to be running ads together, which will be interesting. And we're going to be sharing the results with the community. So
yeah.
stay tuned for that.
That's
It'll be
good.
fun.
Yeah. I'll touch on ads and also community growth in relation to really finding those first key brand advocates. So as a marketer, sales guy, business growth guy, I really don't believe on spending money on ads until your offer is optimized and proven and your ecosystem is flowing. And I say that because I even see now a lot of individuals driving traffic to their group, and their group is not optimized. They don't know the conversion process within the group. And also, um, ads can be really good for growing a group, but School is a relatively new platform. So people may opt into your School platform because they found an ad, but then they may not engage. So it is really about volume and targeted outcomes when you're growing a free group through paid ads. And again, I believe in organic traffic. I believe in relationships. So I think there's a lot of benefit to be had from being on the School platform, inviting people, optimizing your ecosystem, also optimizing your conversion process. And then when you have that figured out, then it may make sense to, go towards paid ads. Um, in relation to finding those brand advocates, I think this also goes with my view on client attraction and enrollment. I believe that you can create your clients through building a relationship with them and really understanding them and making an offer to them at the right time that really suits their needs. I also believe you can create your brand advocates. So if you begin to see individuals who are really engaged in your community, spotlight them, say thank you in the one-to-one chats, post about them to say thank you. You may also consider them giving a role or responsibility in your community. I've learned this as having deputies. So if you spot certain deputies who are very often going to be at the top of your leaderboard, say, hey, would you mind posting, this day of the week? And if you do post this day of the week, I'll pin your post because I'm grateful for your engagement, and you may get some more attention on your post as well. And I actually do have some of those in my community. I have some secret deputies. You may know who they are, you may not know. But that said, like you can create that engagement from your Javarias or your Emmas, right? A mix of both, right? If they begin to really engage and contribute in that way, then encourage them to do it more, which I think is something that, again, is that intentionality. You may know that you can do it, but just speaking to it, you can really capitalize on it. Yeah.
It's a really great point. I want to jump on that and add one thing that for anyone that comes from outside the platform coming in, as Emma and Javaria did, they weren't familiar with the platform until they joined my community. You have to be really clear about like how you want people to show up and what's okay, what's not okay, and giving them that access, not only modeling it yourself, but also telling them explicitly, being like, hey, write this post, do it like this. I had these conversations with them. And they're like, oh, but it seems like that would be weird. I'm like, no, just do it. It'll be great. And that's literally doing that over and over again is how we got some of the habits built. So it's different when you're dealing with schoolers and people who are familiar with the platform, but being really purposeful with those and being mindful of how familiar they are and what the expectations are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Interesting.
I'll touch on how brand advocates and having engaged community contributes to social proof because, I do want you to attract and enroll more clients and paying customers. And one amazing dynamic of a community is that even if you have members of the community who never buy from you, but they're engaged and they're brand advocates and they support you, they may contribute to client attraction enrollment because they're fans of yours, like they vouch for you. So that's why it's very beneficial to really nurture these relationships with people in your community. Again, even if they're not customers or clients, because that bond, that relationship is going to showcase to others who may be interested in you that you're legit that you have fans, that you have an engaged community. So just want to make that clear as we're talking about like what to do with your community and the different elements and different components of that balance between relationships and like practical conversions that help you grow your business and make revenue.
It's a great point.
Yeah.
I have the urge to like share more, but I'm going to stop. This is literally what like Justin and I's phone calls are like. We just keep doing this. So I'm going to stop and see if anyone else has any questions, anything that they wanted to share or talk about in terms of getting the community sticky, engaged. Any thoughts?
We can continue to riff.
Yeah, cool.
I have one question for you. Well, actually, it's two questions. It's more like a statement and a question. So I will come back to one of these because they're very helpful. So whenever you have another one and I'm actually able to free my schedule again, I will come back. And I do have a question for you, Ben. I saw there was something about a 15-minute speaking class with you. How do I get to do that? What do I need to do to get to do that?
Not even a sponsored no, just kidding. Yeah, so that's a great question. Basically, it's
Oh
it's a
no, I
15
mean I'm very direct. When I want to ask something, I will ask you.
Yeah, it's great. It's like indirect promo for my event, so I appreciate that. It's basically just a 15-minute call with me. So I'll send you a link, and it's just to refine your self-introduction. So get a little bit of feedback. You can run it with
That
me,
would
and
be
I can share
perfect. I want to learn how to speak I want to learn how to speak properly. I just do.
Yeah, wonderful. And then once you've got that and you're feeling good about it, you can come to our aligned networking call and practice it and put it into action. That's partly why I offer this. So, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll respond to Solange who's saying that she's not really good at selling things because I believe in it. You got to sell things because as a brand, as an expert, as a
No,
community
let's just
leader.
say, let me precise.
Yeah.
I tried direct marketing before and fitness and a few things.
Yeah.
I'm just not good at selling somebody else's product
Okay. Yeah.
to make myself advance.
Okay.
I've tried a few brands before
I
and
hear
that's
you.
just not,
And I do
I
believe
can't do
it's
it.
good to have ownership over your offers. And that's who I want to have more conversations with. Coaches, creators, people who have ownership over what they're looking to share with people under their offers. That said, I hear it from a lot of individuals who have a lot of competency, a lot of care, a lot of purpose. They're not always so good at selling. One thing that I found that works well for me and that I've observed is just you just help people. And it's very clear that if people want more help, that some of that help has to be paid. Right? So you help
Well,
people a
no,
little
like,
bit and then and this is speaking to everyone, Solange, not just to you, as a tip or an insight, and you can respond if you want to. Um, but there's free help in the community, there's tips, there's advice, and then you can always have that conversation. Well, you could do this and that, and I do have those resource, but if you like more help than that, we could always explore what that may look like on a call. How's that sound?
right.
So that
Yeah,
way,
no,
it's
I
not so
completely
much
get
just
that.
selling. It's more of like an invitation for more help because
Right.
they've already
No,
benefited from some of the help that they've
it's not
received.
really, it's not the same selling technique as they use in direct marketing. Because direct
Right.
marketing, I feel like I was harassing people. I really did.
Yeah. I
And,
get it. Yeah.
even though I tried to share my experience with the product, it sounded phony to me. And I felt like I was trying to sell them something that did not belong to me. And that just
Yeah.
did not feel right at all.
Yeah, I get it. I used to sell insurance and I used to do affiliate marketing, so I'm very familiar with selling products that you don't
Right.
have ownership over. Yeah.
But
Cool.
thank you.
So, yeah, my pleasure. Um, Anything else? We have a few minutes. Any last questions or thoughts or things to share before we close out the space? No? Good. All right, Ben, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, cool. Well, first of all, thanks, Justin, for letting me come in and share some stuff and create a workshop around this topic. It's fun. I really love it. And yeah, I hope that I guess the one challenge for everybody is to try a call, try the structure, whether you want to reinvent you want to change the structure of a current call that you have just to increase the amount of connection time between the members, or to start something new. Maybe it's a networking course, something slightly different. But I encourage you to give it a go and see how it lands, see what the result is, and see how your members respond to it. There's a lot of other parts, and this is a lot of what Justin does very well. It's just about how you obviously all the marketing and all the talking about the event itself and how you follow up and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that goes into it, but the call itself is very beneficial and helpful. So hopefully you guys give it a go and let me know how you go if you do test it.
Yeah, for sure. And check out one of our networking calls if you haven't. Every Monday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. Central European time. See, it flows so well because we don't change the date or the time, which is why that consistency is so good. If you're interested in hosting one of these of your own, which we strongly recommend, then one of the best ways to have some insight into that is, again, to attend one of ours live, again, every Monday. And if you have any questions or you'd like some help getting your own networking call up to the ground, feel free to reach out to Ben or myself because we really do believe that the more that any of us networks, the more we all benefit, right? Because your network expands, our network expands. There's this dynamic of cross-pollination. I know if Martin were here, he'd do the hand gesture, but there you go, the cross-pollination hand gesture. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for joining. We hope you enjoyed and benefited and learned a few cool things. And yeah, we'll see you in our communities. Have a good one.